All right, let's get this show on the road. My name's Captain Crush, and I am coming to you live to discuss Flex Friday on PrizePicks, maybe a chalkboard and parlay slip or two. We'll have to wait and see. And you just might be watching this on TikTok because I got an alert today that TikTok lets you upload up to 30-minute videos now, and it might just be time to return to the TikTok streets and bless them with a video or two over there. We'll have to wait and see if it works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but the YouTube faithful, as always, are the priority. So without further ado, on Flex Friday, let's cook and get in the mix. Now, it's no secret, we have two NBA games today, the play-in games, the playoff winner, go home, whatever you want to call it. We got Bulls versus the Heat. No Butler is the story in the Miami Heat situation. And then we have the Pelicans versus the Kings, and they do not have Zion. So there's going to be a lot of usage and a lot of pieces to be picked up. Someone on both of these teams will pick up the slack or they will crash and burn. It happens every playoff, every play-in. Some unsung hero picks up the pace. And for Chicago, it was none other than the Coby Wagon White, who's probably going to be the thumbnail, just because it's been a hot minute since I've been able to use old Coby White, my boy Coby White, as a thumbnail. Hopefully he can get it done tonight. I will have some exposure to Coby White. I took his alternate lines, his PRA at 25.5 over on chalkboard, which without further ado, I'll show you guys right now. They are having a boosted payout on Domantas Sabonis' 12.5 rebounds. Is he going to get 13 rebounds? Who knows, but it's a boosted payout, so for that reason, I'm taking it. Then I paired it with Jose Alvarado, an alternate line, 9.5 points assist. Kevin Love, 9.5 points rebound. Keegan Murray, alternate line, 25.5 PRA. And Coby Wagon White, 27.5 PRA. He was 30.5 all day on PrizePicks. I told the core, do not take it. It's moving down, baby. It's moving down to 29.5 where it is at now. And this is his PRA alternate line. I took this. I did shield it. It's 20 to win like 85 with the shield. If you don't shield it, it's 7.5x, which isn't bad for an alternate line. Whatever you want to do there, that's up to you. I'm going to talk about each and every one of these gentlemen here except for Sabonis because that's just a boosted line. Otherwise, I wouldn't really have exposure to him. Promo code CRUSH, get your deposit match, send me the email, get 30 free days of Discord, get on chalkboard. It's for Android, iPhone, all of it. They're killing it for the MLB market too, let me tell you. So now here we are on PrizePicks where they give you the welfare ticket, the golden ticket if you will, to win 20 to win 200 or whatever have you. Flex it. If you lose, you get it back. It's a free roll. Everybody loves Flex Friday, myself included. So the question becomes this: do we do a stud slip? Do we hope the stud's stud? Or do we do an optimal slip? What do we do here? Well, there's so many ways you could do it, but what I always tell you, D-Gens, is this. On every Friday for Flex Friday, put your skills to the test because you can't lose. So if you don't want to tail somebody, just do your own slips, make your own reads. Because either way, win, lose, or draw, you get all your coin back. It's literally, you have nothing to lose. Of course you want to win, but this should be the slip you're willing to gamble on the most, okay? Your free entries, that's when you should hem and haw and try to decide because it's free coin. But for Flex Friday, you win, lose, or draw, you're getting that coin back. So do whatever is going to be the most fun sweat for you. That is what I always tell people. So on a day like Flex Friday, I'm more willing to gamble than normal. So first, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, Coby White, because I'm going to make him the thumbnail because look at Coby White. The man just looks like he respects coin. I was telling everybody, him and Brandon Ingram, those two guys should get a place. They should be roomies. I think it would be great reality TV. The hobo incarnate and Coby White. I think they could do great things together. I don't know, man. You know what? They just look like a weird couple of guys. But honestly, Coby White, I can't say for Brandon Ingram, but Coby White's one of the most humble guys there is. I wish him well. I hope the best for him. I hope he continues to crush. So I got my trusted notepad here, the handy dandy notepad. Coby White, 0.85 fantasy points per minute on season average now with PrizePicks scoring, 22% usage rate with 0.78 fantasy points per minute over his last 5 games. Now, the last game that he just did, folks, was an outlier game, whatever you want to call it. I need people to understand that. So if you take his last 5 average, 0.78, multiply it times 35, Coby's playing big minutes tonight, you get 27.3. Add into the fact that it's playoff stakes, win or go home, yada, yada, yada. Let's just just bump him up to 0.85 his season average, multiply it times 38 minutes, and bang, you get 32.3. So as you can see, it's going to be close. And this is where I'm telling you the mathematical sense of it. You're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to target Coby White? You know it's going to be a tough matchup. Granted, Jimmy Butler, one of their best defenders, is out of the mix. So they're going to be running that zone just like they did against Philly. Everyone's talking about Miami's zone defense and Spoelstra's a genius and blah, blah, blah. Or could it just be that Embiid has an injury? He looked sluggish. Otherwise, he would have torched them, dude. I'm telling you, they still, all that talk about their defense and yada, yada, they still lost. They must have forced like 20 turnovers and the Miami Heat still lost. What's that tell you? I got nothing but love for the Miami Heat, but I will say this. I don't like teams that coast during the regular season and then just expect to hit the switch during the playoffs and all of a sudden perform. No, that's hot garbage. Play hard the entire season. You're millionaires. This is what you are paid to do. Perform. I'm not interested in your lazy excuses. I'm not interested. That's how injuries happen. That's why you got guys that are going half speed. Then automatically they go 150% and then they get injured like a Jimmy Butler. Okay? Play hard every time you're on that court, man, because you never know when you won't get to be on that court again. I wish I could play NBA professional basketball. I'd be going 110 miles an hour percent every time I could. And some of them do. Some of them do. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of them don't. Okay, let's keep it a buck now, as Lewis would say. So we're talking about Coby White here. What are we going to do with him? So you have his 35 fantasy score. That is an option. We saw what he did last game. He hustled. He played big minutes. He carried his team. Can he do it again? Well, that's the $1 million question, and isn't it, comment guy? I mean, who knows if he's going to do it, but these are the facts right here. Coby White, point guard. Miami Heat's actually, their weakest spot would technically be against the point guard. Check it out. Points allowed 12th, rebounds allowed 13th, assists allowed 24th, but overall, check this out. Third in points allowed, rebounds allowed 11, assists allowed 13. They just play slow, and they do run that little zone defense, and they just tend to wear teams down. I don't know, man. I really don't know. And Coby White hasn't been getting 30.5 points, rebounds, assists, guys. As you can see, 13 of his last 17, he hasn't been getting this done. But the fact is, now is the playoff time. It's different. He's playing with a lot of heart. I don't want to overthink this spot. That Outlier game that he just had is kind of weighing on me, but check this out. He played the Heat 4 times this season. I don't know why they haven't played the Heat in 2024. Who's making the schedules here? They're East Coast teams. But he had 34 on 12-16, 44 on 12-14, 28 on 11-20, and then opening, who cares? Coby White is a good player. He did have some injury issues, but what I saw with him last night or 2 nights ago, he was absolutely locked in. And because he was locked in, I'm going to go ahead and give him the nod. But my favorite proposition for old Coby White, besides the alternate line down at 27.5, which is minus 182, if you go to his alternate line at 27.5, you can see he's hit it in 11 of his last 20, so it's still going to be a sweat. But this is what I want to show you guys. Potential assist, 8. Potential rebound chances, 7. Average, 36 minutes. He's going to play almost 40 as long as this game stays close. So he's on average averaging 15 rebound and assist chances every single time he plays. So go over here to rebounds, right? I just had him over 4.5 rebounds against the Hawks. Now, granted, the Hawks, they play at they're the opposite of the Miami Heat. They play at an extremely fast pace. They give up rebounds. They do it all. They don't play defense. But if you go to the head-to-head, look at this. Even against Miami Heat, Coby White, 7 rebounds on 12-16, 12-14, 7 rebounds, 11-20, 5 rebounds, and then over here at 11-18, he had 3. So what I did on Sleeper, they let you bump it down on an alternate line, and then he only has to get 4 instead of 5 to cash you. No hook. So if he lands on 4 on Sleeper, if you take it, it's not a push, it's a cash. So I went over there and I did that. Now, he has 6.8 rebound chances on average. Okay, let's just call it 7. So he's going to need to get almost 70% of all his chances. But again, it's going to be the playoffs. It should be a little bit higher right now, but look at these minutes, guys. He played 39 minutes. This is what it's all about. And now, being in the fact that it's going to be win or go home, he's going to be playing big minutes. And look at these scores. 116, 118, 124, 116, and this is against the Heat. So maybe, just like he said, it turns into a dogfight. So this is what I did with Coby White. Granted, if you look at the data here, it's not sexy at all. He hasn't been getting 5 rebounds that much, but the head-to-head stats are great. Granted, I don't factor matchup in that much. This is more of a narrative play on my own part. I can't even remember what my own model had him projected for. All right, I just checked and he's projected for 4.85, so it's going to be close, and that is why I took the alternate line 4. But you guys are on PrizePicks. If you're not using Sleeper and you're using Flex Friday, you can go ahead and take his 4.5 rebounds outright. You could take a shot on his fantasy score. I showed you guys the math. It's going to be close. The numbers just aren't mathing. So you're going to need that outlier game from Coby White once again, but his Gabby's, where's his Gabby? At 3.5 rebounds could be considered. His 15.5 points, Gabby, could be considered. And these assist and rebound numbers, what is it, 9.5? Woo, that's crispy! 9.5 RA for Coby. If he does go off, I think his R plus A. Remember, he has 15 R plus A chances potential per game. I think that could be considered too. All right. So I gave you my thoughts on Coby White. Maybe 1.5 3-pointers, Goblin. The point is, Coby White, it's not a mathematical play. Look, they bumped it back to 30.5. It was at 29.5 earlier. But guys, you got to make this decision, okay? It's going to be a sweat either way. Don't think it's not. It's going to be a sweat. But if he turns it on like he did last game, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. My goodness, I feel like I just spent 20 minutes on old Coby White. But Coby White deserves it all. But now I want to talk about Tyler Herro, a man who shot 27 times against the Philadelphia 76ers. We're on Outlier Bet. 3-point attempts allowed, baby. They're ranked 30th. The Chicago 3-pointers allowed. They're 30th. That's last in the league, baby. And Tyler Herro just shot, what, 14 of them against the Sixers? Jimmy Buckets is out of the mix. Somebody's going to have to be scoring for this offense, baby. So I think Tyler Herro is going to be chucking. Absolutely. If you look at this, it's absolute. The data doesn't support it. The data thinks it's absolute hot garbage. He's hit this in 10 of his last 43 in the current season, which makes no sense. Head to head, he shot 5, 8, 11. This is a complete narrative play for the playoff situation that they're in. Win or go home. That is the reason why I'm assuming they're going to be playing from behind, and I'm hoping that Tyler Herro just chucks up 10 3-point attempts, fella. It's that simple. I don't want to target his points, but listen, he played almost, 40 minutes, 39 minutes, and he chucked it up 27 times field goal attempts. So his field goal attempts, his 3-point attempts, even his regular points, all of it is all of it's in the mix, guys, because if he turns it on and the game stays close and we do get that dogfight, he should soar over. We're going to have to wait and see. These are type lottery props. I just wanted to mention it because I do have some exposure to it. Everything that I have exposure on, I try to mention it to you guys on YouTube and give you a little bit of a rundown why. And now we're going to look at Kevin Love, a role player that's going to play maybe 18 minutes top, 18 to 20 minutes. I'm not exactly sure with Jimmy Butler out. So I'm on Outlier Bet, whatever you want to call it. Captain Crush doesn't care. Just don't call me late for dinner, baby. But Jimmy Butler, I have him filtered off the court. So he's out of the mix and we can see what Kevin Love has been doing without Jimmy Butler on the floor. Okay, in his last 20, he's hit this in 15 of his last 20 without Jimmy Buckets. And he hasn't just hit it, he's soared. 19, 12, 15, 20, 10, 17. It's not like he's gone over 5.5 points by a small margin. He soared, fella. And you can see Kevin Love, power forward, points allowed to the Bulls. They're 23rd. If you go to centers, let's just say he lines up in the 5, no Bam on the floor, points allowed 13th. So either way you cut it, it's not that bad. So this is why I'm taking a shot on Kevin Love over 5.5 points. This is going to be an extreme sweat. I took it on Sleeper. That's where I could find it. PrizePicks didn't even have it. And if you look at the head-to-head data, granted, Jimmy Butler was on the court. He had 22 on 12-16, 12-14. He had 16. I mean, on PrizePicks, they don't have his points, but they have his demon points. And if you did want to take that, you could. His points, rebounds also has to be considered. He's exceeded 10.5 points, rebounds in 9 of his last 10 games at home. Rebounds allowed, they're ranked 29th to power forwards. I mean, dude, my brothers and sisters in Christ, if there was ever a reason to take a shot on a demon, it would be right here, okay? Win or go home. 7.5 points for Kevin Love. He's going to have to shoot a few threes and get in the mix, but his points, rebounds is the only thing that's on the board here. As far as PrizePicks is concerned, they don't have straight points at 5.5. They're scared. This Goblin looks crispy. All he has to do is hit 1-3 or hit an and 1, get fouled and go to the line or something like that. Either one of these is fine, guys. And then if you really want to be a D-Gen, you hit up the Demon. I don't recommend Demons ever, fella, but I'm telling you right now, I will have exposure to Kevin Love, and hear me carefully. It's going to be a sweat because he's only going to play 18 minutes tops, and he's a low-usage player. But let me show you something crispy right quick, fella. Hang tight. Kevin Love commands a 1.26 fantasy point per minute with a 22% usage rate when he's on the court. So that means he only plays 17 to 20 minutes, right? Yeah, I get that. Maybe he gets a few more with Jimmy B out of the mix, but he has a 22% usage rate when he's on the floor, which means the ball's in his hands a lot, so he's maximizing his minutes plus 1.25 fantasy points per minute. I mean, all the data, if there was ever a time for a data-driven play, it's this right here. The only confusion for me is the fact that the books haven't moved the line, number one, and two, they have it juiced the other way pretty much, except for his points at 5.5. So I can't figure it out. All the data points to smashing the over. If he sells, folks, he sells. This ain't for the faint of heart. This whole game, this whole industry isn't for the faint of heart. So miss me with your tears. Whenever you attack someone like Kevin Love, you got to know what you're getting into, fella. And I'm trying to keep it 100. I'm trying to keep it a buck. It's Flex Friday. We're getting that coin back. So who cares? Win, lose, or draw. The data's there. I showed you it. I made my case. Clear the board. We got a couple more to talk about. And then I'm taking a hike. Literally, I'm taking a hike. Actually, I'm going to do a live stream, and I'm going to teach people some MLB stuff. And then I'm going to go take a hike. So before I go any further, let's go back to the notepad, and I want to show you guys something, just a little bit of numbers for you. Fox, 1.24 fantasy points per minute with a 31% usage rate. Are you thinking about taking De'Aaron Fox's fantasy? Well, there you go. You take 1.25 or 1.24, multiply it however minutes you think he's going to get, and go from there. We talked about Coby White. We talked about Love. I'm going to talk about Trey Murphy. Tyler Herro, 1.10, 0.97 over the last 10, and 28% usage rate. Bam Adebayo, you thinking about Bam? I know a lot of people are talking about Bam. 1.22 fantasy points per minute with a 25% usage rate. And then Keon Ellis, 0.87 fantasy points per minute, and I'm going to talk about Keon Ellis next. There is a lot of players you could take tonight, guys, with these studs. If you wanted to do an all-stud slip, today would be the day to do it because it's Flex Friday, and it's play, win, or go home. So Keon Ellis, 24.5 fantasy score. This is probably going to get bumped down to 24, maybe even 23.5. It wouldn't surprise me, or maybe it goes higher because all the money's going to be on the overside. I don't know. But why am I looking at another role player that's absolute poverty, that looks like a wannabe Lil Nas or whatever his name is, whatever that guy is that sings Old Town Road? I don't know. Captain Crush isn't cultured in that department. Let me tell you, I'm an old head. But the fact is, 24.5 fantasy score, right? The man's got block and steal upside. He's got block and steal equity. He's got it all. And the fact is, he passed the eye test the other night. Captain Crush was watching that game like a hawk. Then I went and rewatched it, and he was hustling. That man's trying to get paid. He's undrafted. He's got a chip on his shoulder. These are the type of guys that I love to target in big game situations because their spot isn't secure, man. These guys got to fight for everything that they have, everything that they got, and they have that heart. They got that dog in them. They have that chip on their shoulder. And for that reason, I will be taking a shot on Keon Ellis's fantasy score at 24.5. Long term, the correct play is most likely less here, okay? In fact, I know it is. But for the short term in a playoff game, I'm going to take this 0.87 fantasy points per minute. Let's go over to the calculator real quick. Captain Crush is going to do simple math live, baby, free of charge. 0.87, multiply it times 30. Let's just say he only plays 30. Bang! 26 fantasy points. Okay, that's if he plays 30 minutes. Let's take it a step further. 0.87, let's just say he only plays 25 minutes. Bang! You get 21.75, which is a 2-point differential, which was in the margin of error. You comment, guy. You make your decision. You make your choice. I just told you why I was thinking about taking it, why I'm going to have exposure to him. If he's out of the mix, he's out of the mix. If you don't like it, don't take it, but I will have exposure to him, and I just told you why. Now, one could make the case for his PRA or his points, right? Yeah, if he goes coast to coast, but I want that block and steal upside, baby. I want that crispy 3-point equity every time he gets a block or a steal, baby. You know what I'm saying? I want it, and I want it like air. And the fact that his demon line at 3.5 3-pointers tells me that PrizePicks thinks he's going to shoot at least 5 to 6 3-pointers tonight, baby. So you got to get in the mix on Keon Ellis. If you don't want to, I don't blame you. It's going to be risky. Now, is there any lottery props besides Tyler Herro? There is. Domantas Sabonis dunks. That's always in the mix. No Zion. It's going to be J-Val. He could get those alley-oops from Fox. He could go to the rim, to the glass unabated, and he could absolutely, bang, throw it down. I could see it right now. I'm calling my shot at least one time. Darren Fox, bang. Harrison Barnes, bang. Alley-oop. DeBonis is standing on the side. No dribble. Bang. Two-handed slammer. Cash it. Bang. 1.5 dunks. Maybe. Just maybe. I don't think I'm going to go there personally, but I could see it happening. And then Trey Murphy over half a dunk. My brothers and sisters in Christ. He's always in the mix. He goes coast to coast on a fast break. Bang. He's throwing it down for a dunk. Let me tell you. Let me talk to you about Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy. No Zion. Okay. Ingram came back and kind of put a damper on my boy Murphy. They want to hold him down. They want to get him out of the mix, but baby, you gotta have Trey Murphy. That's why you guys lost last game. Trey Murphy, he respects coin. He does it all. He catches points. He gets rebounds. He shoots the threes. He does it all. His fantasy score is 100% in play. He gets blocks. He gets steals. He gets rebounds. He drops dimes, and he shoots the three, and he makes the three. And Trey Murphy usually respects coin. Fast-paced game. We can go over here, bang, 0.95 fantasy points per minute with a crispy. Just kidding. His usage rate isn't crispy. It's abysmal, 18%. But it's probably going to go up with Zion out of the mix. All right, 0.95 over the last 5. Let's take a look. Captain Crush is doing all the math for you guys today. 0.95 multiplied times 30. Bazinga! You get 28.5. Now I'm back on Outlier, and you can see last game he played 30, and that was with Zion and a full squad. Then he played 31, 42, and 44, but these were without Ingram. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he gets a little bit more. If he gets 32 minutes, then I could see him getting what he needs to get. Remember, it's a 2-point differential, but that isn't going to get us there. So let's go back. 0.95. Oops. 0.95, and let's multiply it times 32, and we get 30. There's our 2-point differential right there. So maybe he plays 33 or 34, but you saw his upside. He can play as many as 40. Now, this line was at 32.5, and that is when I got it, and they did bump it up to 33 because PrizePicks is smart. They know what they're doing, but I still think I had to mention it. I don't know how much exposure I'm going to have at 33 because I don't really like to double down on the bumps, but for sure, it's something you guys have to consider, and that is the whole deal. That's the reason Captain Crush is here, to get you guys to consider these things. I ain't here to spoon feed you. I'm just here to get your feet firing and get you guys thinking the right way. I will be doing my live stream shortly, probably around 5 Central, and lock is at 6, an hour before lock. That's when I like to do it. Here's the deal. CaptainCrush.net. You go down, gold package. If you don't want to buy direct, if you want to try it out, you're not convinced, you can sign up with any of my partners that are in the description. Chalkboard, Parlay Play, Sleeper, DG Fantasy, any of that, and I will send you a 30-day free trial, and I know you'll come back after the 30 free days. This will get you my plays. This will also get you into my live streams, which I do Monday through Friday. And it'll also get you my projection sheets that look just like this. This is for MLB right now. I have the player, they're hitting, their strikeouts, all of that. And for MLB, you're going to want to get in the mix and learn how to do it. But also, you get access. My Dub Club is linked to my Discord. So when you buy the gold package, you do get into my Discord where you have my community, where you have role members that put out slips every day for all the sports, esports, hockey, whatever. I put out slips. I put out my plays. You get my projection sheets right under here. Under Captain's Daily News, just like that. PDFs, there's all MLB and NBA for the day. Each and every day I provide that for you guys. And you get access to the live streams, okay? And on top of that, the general chat. Now, you love to see people taking Ryan Pepiot. 27.5 fantasy score. The play of the day yesterday, it was absolutely a monster, and it soared over. Nelson undercashed. Duran overcashed. It was a decent day in MLB. The only plays that chalked in MLB was Logan Webb's pitching outs, and that was literally given to me by someone who I won't say that said it was free coin, but we won't go into that. So, CaptainCrush.net gold package, that's how you get in the mix right there. And I will have my live stream today at 5 Central, which will be about 50 minutes from now. Now, the last person that I'm going to talk about is the man who was the most hated man in America a couple days ago, Herb Jones, baby. Herb Jones, we got to talk about Herb Jones. What are we doing with Herb Jones? Are we going back to the Joneses? Are we going to talk about Herb Jones? What's he going to do? Is he going to be hitting? Is he going to be selling? Is he going to be doing it? Oh, baby. Well, let me talk to you. Herb Jones, he was at 3.5 rebounds the other day against the Lakers. 150,000 people stepped up, and Herb Jones smacked 150,000 people right back down into reality and said, Fade the public, fella. I sold you. I cost you all your slips, and he made PrizePicks one hell of a lot of money, baby. Herb Jones, you made the list for that, buddy. But guess what? Now you're bumped up to 4. Am I going to take less on Herb Jones at 4 rebounds? Absolutely not. I will go back to Herb Jones, 1 slip max now, 4 rebounds, and give him a shot to redeem himself. Zion's fat self is out of the way. And now I think it's time for Herb Jones to redeem himself. I need number 5, baby. Captain Crush needs number 5. I was going to troll and make this the play of the day, but I didn't have the heart to do it. But I will put this in 1 slip max. He's not going in my Flex Friday slip. I'm going to put him in a 2-man, probably with Coby White or something like that, and call it a day just to see if Herb Jones can pay me back. But also just because I want the sweat for the fun of it to see what happens, because I'm doing it for the lulz, baby. So Herb Jones, show us what you got, baby. Because as you can see, Herb Jones has exceeded 3.5 rebounds, which is the line on Sleeper and Chalkboard. More reason to go sign up with my partners. In 6 of his last 7 games. And look at the last 20. 11 of his last 20. And let's go head to head, baby. 5 on 4-11. 3 on 1-7. 5-5-7. Let's see how many he's got without Zion, shall we? And we'll keep it to the last 20. We'll keep it a buck. Oh my goodness, without Zion, baby, 14 of his last 20. He's cooking the rebounds without Zion. Granted, he's landing on 4 because the true line is 3.5. But you can get that over on Sleeper and Chalkboard and possibly even parlay play, baby. So you gotta consider Herb Jones. I know you hate to hear it. I'm doing it for the lulz, baby, the lulz. It is Flex Friday. I bid you adieu. I wish you good luck in all your contests. I know this video went long. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button, hit the subscribe. If it makes its way to TikTok, smash the like, leave me a comment. Here's the salute. Good luck in all your contests. And my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush.